Tonight's show, we're talking about keys to enlightenment, and I'm answering all your questions with live readings coming up right now.
He said it was like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table. No, you said like there's something in your end table that this too.
Oh my god, we're crazy.
Yeah, he's saying hi, baby girl. He's saying hi, baby girl. And is there significance with like image of a rose at all?
He would
Does that
always
make sense?
give me a rose.
Okay, so he's like doing one now. He's saying to work with some sort of like vibrational machine. Somehow a way to work with like machinery and vibration.
I work with horses, and there's actually some magnawave therapy that's vibrational.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
So he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to feel yourself. Allow yourself to talk to yourself. Allow yourself to respond to yourself. That's looking within.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I said, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
There's a reason why we're on this timeline. There's a reason why we've chosen to be in this awakening. I say we're going through a spiritual awakening.
So I don't just come on here and talk bull and repeat. I'm living this stuff.
In harmony with nature, in a mystical adventure, we're building on a
Happy Thursday Night Live, everybody. Welcome to the Cruisyverse. It's been an interesting week since we've had a moon in Virgo, or new moon in Virgo, and so a lot of people have been getting kind of sick in a sense, and I've had a sinus infection in the past week too, so I'm purging that stuff out, some heaviness as well. So how are you guys this week going? Welcome aboard. And so those of you who are new, I will start with a collective read, then we'll get into the discussion. The discussion today is keys to enlightenment, so things that I would say are ways to become more enlightened in life. And so a lot of people, struggle to find a way to become enlightened. What does it mean to be enlightened? How do you get to that point? So I'll give you some keys and tips on how to get that way, to get to your phase of enlightenment. And then we'll open up for live readings. And so let me get the overlay going on here because I'm a one-team man. As you can see here, $15 for a card pull, $20 for one question, $30 for two questions. If you want a live video with me, it's $40 for a live video reading with you here. The Venmo and PayPal links are in the description, and my wonderful mod Nina will definitely let you know how to get that started there. Let's see who's chatting on in the room here. We have Brenda Zweck. Hello, good to see you. Iggy, can't you see? My bro is working overtime today, he says. Yes, I am, because we just had LOL tonight, or this morning. See, I'm already overworked. This morning we had Leading Out Loud show. Now it's actually in the same time as my live show. So it's going to be back-to-back shows on Thursdays. PBO Cutter, good to see you. Hello. Jennifer Cruz, hello. This is my maker. Rashida, good to see you. Erica Emody, okay. What's going on? How you doing? AC, good to see you. Sydney, what's up in the room? We're up in the room, actually. Holla. Okay, good to see you. Hope you're having a good week too. And AC again. I'm just seeing who's chatting in the chat here. Daryl Blankenship, good to see you. Start some trouble here. And Walk, first time here because of Chris Deck and LOL. I mean, I'm sure you mean Chris Reck. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. And Walk. Elisa Bennett, hello. Sophie, good to see you. Crazy for Coconuts. Thank you. And I'm thankful for you for being thankful for Thursday nights. I appreciate having you here too. Good to see you. Welcome aboard again. Debbie Maybury, I think I said that correctly. Good to see you. Zen Finnis and James Porterfield, brother. Let's just see what his quick message is here too. What's good, everyone? Hope you're all doing fantastic. I'm going to have to catch the replay, but wanted to come in and wish everyone a fantastic show. Evening and upcoming week. Be blessed. James, thanks so much for stopping by and letting us know. Catch you on the flip side on that. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. And everybody else who's chatting, hello. Good to see you. And those who are watching, I cannot see you because you're not chatting. I can only see you chatting. And Lauren Macella's good to be here from Maine. Yeah, good to see you. I'm glad you found me too. And Sydney, hello. Let's get to this collective read, shall we? And so those you don't know, oh wow, look at all those emojis there. Iggy, Jesus. Those of you who don't know, I'm not a tarot reader, but I utilize tarot for collective purpose like this. I mean, I understand tarot and I use tarot, but I'm a psychic medium, so I don't use that, primarily in my readings. But for collective purposes as this is why I use them. And last week we talked about getting out of the box. It was a main message too about getting outside of the box. And understanding what you can do, to allow yourself to, look in the box to then understand what more you need to get outside of the box. So let's see if there's a continuation from last read to this read here. So let's see how we shuffle these cards. And this is the part of the live that I cannot fast forward because it is live. Iggy's representing the Aquarius, exactly. But a lot of guys, I think, give you guys a hard time about trying to get out of the box, and a lot of times give yourself a hard time about what you're not doing, what you should be doing, and I always say repetitively, it's not so much of what you're doing, it's who you're becoming and who you're being. And so I just want you guys to remember that as I'm shuffling these cards, that sometimes you guys judge yourselves based off the conditions that you have or don't have, or you're judging yourself based on the state of the conditions that you're in right now, and understand, yes, things are a result of behavior, but it doesn't justify damning and condemning yourself. It just means that you're, like I always say, you're outgrowing an old pair of shoes, right? And all because the shoes don't fit anymore doesn't mean you have to condemn the pair of shoes. You just take the new shoes off and you get ready for the new pair of shoes. Please let yourselves be more lighter on yourselves when it comes to that. And if you're not ready to make decisions on things, it's quite okay. You can marinate, in the circumstances that you're in, and marinate on the changes you want to make next and become ready to make those changes. Because a lot of times you guys know to get out of circumstances, but you haven't really defined the next phase or the next paradigm. And that's keeping you guys kind of stuck because you're beating yourselves up because I just don't know. It's like, well, you'll figure it out. There's something called a exploration phase. And so you can be in an exploration phase. That's quite all right. All right. So let's see what these cards say in conjunction to that, because I felt kind of led to speak of that. And it is time to take off those old pair of shoes. Okay. All right. Okay. A lot of people in this read here. Let's pull some oracles. I remember when I was a Christian in my former life, and I remember singing the song, "This battle ain't yours, it's the Lord's." So I don't know if anybody who was Christian in a previous life incarnation, this life. And that really rings true for me here in this reading here, because a lot of times you guys are fighting battles, and I have to stop saying you guys, you all. How about that? A lot of times you all are fighting battles that's just not yours. And this really is a continuation from last week too. And to be firm in a perspective and to be firm in your voice, it doesn't mean you have to fight. And I see a lot of people who've gotten a lot of confidence in finding their new voice, but they think that means you have to correct everybody, or they think that means you have to kind of fight against everybody all the time. And that's kind of using their voice. And I'm saying, no, it isn't actually. When you find that voice and you develop the comfortability, because I always say confidence is the result of how comfortable you are with something. So when you're becoming comfortable in your voice and very confident in your voice, that doesn't mean you have to start fighting against people who don't feel or say the same things in your life. It's quite all right to understand that just ain't your battle. And understanding too that we are succumbed by the essence of karma. So if you're seeing things being done that's not really in favor of what you think should be done in the world that you want to see the world to be, well, understand there's a spectrum of karma that deals with the ebbs and flows and the coincidence and the consequences, of what is happening and what people are doing, how people are behaving. There are consequences for such in the karmic realm. So because you don't see things changing immediately when someone does something that you see as against your new voice or perspective, it doesn't mean that karma isn't going to be manifest for them in that sense. So there needs to be a level of trusting of the universe. Now, I don't want to sound cliche by saying trusting the universe, because I always say the universe is a mechanism, but it is a mechanism. And we need to understand what this universal mechanism really is. And we're going to get into this more so when it comes to the keys of enlightenment, because part of having a key to enlightenment is understanding the mechanism that we're in. So this universe is a very give and take, push and pull energy. And a lot of people like to define this as a law of attraction. And I say attraction is based when it comes to people, but not when it comes to objects and manifestation. And that's another topic to begin with. But, things are an ebb and flow. And when it comes to people and circumstances, we are aligning with energy, or at least perspectives that match our own. And so even the unconscious and subconscious points of view that we have that we're not, even so conscious of, we are actually aligning with circumstances that match our subconscious point of view too. So it's very important that when we're rising out and kind of growing out of the older paradigms, and we find this newfound voice, and we are stepping outside the box, that we don't become arrogant about it. We don't start trying to correct and change everybody and everything around us, because part of that key to enlightenment that I'm going to mention is that we have to accept the parameters of this world that we are in, that we have to be accepting of others that think contrary. We have to accept others that see things contrary to us in order for us to continue to evolve. We have to accept the duality. We have to accept the diversity, in a sense, of perspective, because everything exists but non-existence, and everything has to exist but non-existence. So in this world that we live in, we have to understand that we're finding our voice based on our own evolution, not that we have to change others in their own evolution. That we all have different patterns, different pathways that we're, I would say, evolving into, and different timelines, different progressions, that we have to respect others around us. So this is a positive message in saying you guys are finding your new voice in a sense, but please understand your voice is always meant to be individualized. So you can also connect with those who are similar in energy, but also to make positive change where change needs to be made. Because, even though people are living their separate lives and people are living their own karmic experiences, there are also gateways of change and gateways of inspiration that also needs to be manifest in this world. And that is up to us to make sure we understand the right pathways to do this. A lot of people are actually trying to find ways of changing people through changing relationships. They're in a relationship. Well, I have to change him to make him better, or to change the boss. I have to make the boss see. It's like, no. You bring change to situations that need change. And so when you have friendships of people who need assistance, who need help, and need inspiration, those are the friends that you should be, harboring your time in, or at least giving your time to. Not the ones that are just taking advantage, not the ones that aren't seeing things clearly. So we need to be perceptive now on how we're going to inspire and bring change. And we need to be perceptive on where our voice really needs to be heard. Because you wouldn't expect someone who does hip hop music to try to reach a group of people wanting country music. It's not going to happen. And so same thing here. So, and the great positive aspect of this message in the next week is a lot of you are all going to really find, the essence of where you really truly stand in your life. And that means the essence of soul, the essence of spirit. And that means too, how you're going to express this. Because I think the misunderstandings that people have when it comes to expressing the soul, they think it only means conditional aspects. It only means obtaining certain things in their lives. And I'm here to say it's not about that. It's about being the new person. It's about being that personality, the being, the confident energy, the inspiring energy, the creative energy. Those are aspects of self that we are on the soul level that need to be expressed. And when they are expressed, then those conditional circumstances become surrounded in you. Like you become very much synonymous with those expressions through those conditional aspects, so to speak. The job becomes obvious of how to get it, the relationship, so forth. So this week it's important to understand now now that you're out of the box and you're kind of thinking beyond, that you're still understanding this is your own individualized journey. Do not let others' perspectives or others, I would say even view of you, distract you or distract you from staying on that path of confidence. Okay, because a lot of things when you guys really start reaching that voice and that power, in a sense, that find the power within your voice, there are going to be equal power of opposing energies. And, I say this a lot too, when people are going public with certain things or becoming more expressive to the collective, you're in the right place when you have the equal amount of haters and the equal amount of lovers. That means you're right in the center, because there's going to be people that love you and people that hate you. And just look at Yeshua, Jesus Christ. I always say Yeshua. I mean, he was loved and preached love, but he was also equally hated. And so that's part of the duality in this planet. And so when we understand such and we're allowing ourselves to rise above to be in an acceptance of such, that's when we have our true awakening and true enlightenment phase. And so I'm trying not to get so much into the discussion because this read is pushing me into the discussion. So I might as well just get into the discussion, because this reading, collective reading, is really all about self-enlightenment. And I want to go from the week ahead with you all, because I think the week ahead is going to be a lot of this enlightening phases with you, and in a sense of that you guys are going to see a lot more of your inner voice, your true voice. So this is a positive thing. And so the caution is, use it wisely. Okay, please use it wisely. Okay, so now really quickly, let's get into the topic now. Let me just get my little clip notes here. Yes, Iggy. Yeshua. Hashtag. We should hashtag that. One of the main keys of enlightenment, or to enlightenment, it's very simple. Know thyself. And so what does that really mean, to know thyself? Not only does it mean to understand your physical apparatus, the person that you are in the physical sense, right? The physical character that you have, but it's understanding you on the soul level, and the desire to understand yourself on the soul level. This could mean past incarnations, one to tap in where you came from in past incarnations. Could also mean what are the challenges that you've had in this lifetime, and understanding how it's piecing together your soul expression and how to evolve from that, and then understanding your purpose moving forward. That's knowing the self. It isn't about, oh, my character of Scott Cruz likes this food or likes this music, and it isn't about those physical parameters. It's about the interaction that the soul is having in this physical world. That's knowing thyself, and understanding what the self wants to grow into and how it wants to express itself. When you understand the self in that depth of the soul purpose, that's a major key to enlightenment, because what that does when you know thyself is it broadens your perspective of life. And when you broaden your perspective in life, I call that intuition. Because intuition is when you broaden perspective, you can see things more in a fifth dimensional aspect. Okay? And next key to enlightenment, when you know thyself, is you understand karma. Like I was saying in the collective read, karma is not just punishment. I know a lot of people think karma is like a punishment. Oh, they'll get their karma, like they're going to be punished for what they've done. Karma is just memory of lessons or unlearned lessons. And so we have a lot of karmic patterns that we are continuing from our previous incarnations that are either resolved or unresolved. And a lot of people have unresolved karma. And so a lot of those unresolved karmas are manifesting through circumstances early on in one's life, or continuation through that aspect of life too. And so part of like really enlightening ourselves to enlightenment, in a sense, to be redundant, is to understand that karmic pattern that we have and understand where we're resolving our karma and how we need to move on and grow from that karmic experiences. And then thus creating good karma for ourselves. And so many people are trying to like create things in their life or manifest things in their life, and they have unresolved karma, and that's the block. Many people always ask, like, I feel blocked. I'm trying to get things left, but I just feel blocked. And I'm like, you're not doing anything wrong. You're just not recognizing that you're not learning from karma. You're not resolving karma. And remember, karma is unlearned lessons, not things you've done bad in life. Okay, remember this. It could be things that you've done bad, but that's not what karma means. So when you identify your karmic pattern, your karmic path, boom, you've enlightened yourself to not only knowing more of thyself, but knowing more of the past and present and the future, but also how you fit in this world. And that leads to my next key of enlightenment, is understanding everything in this world is duality. It has a duality to it. There's a yin and a yang. Okay. And what we define good or bad, good or evil, positive or negative, there's a spectrum of duality, and there need to be a spectrum of duality in this reality. And so when you become more aware and the acceptance of the duality and the spectrum of such, and you limit yourself from being judgmental of the positive or the negative or the good and the evil, the left and the right, the black and the white, you understand there's extreme in that duality, but also a spectrum of such. But you understand everything in this reality functions in duality. You become more enlightened to the mechanics actually of the world that you're in, but also how you're functioning in this reality and how to manipulate this reality to get what you want because of understanding the duality and acceptance of duality. And another key to enlightenment coming from duality is understanding all is one. Some say the law of one. I don't like to use these like law of one, law of this, law of that, because I think it's not really laws, they're philosophies, but everything is one. You know, we're one mechanism in a sense, a collective, and we're all each part of this collective energy, which we can call the human species on planet Earth, but we're all bound to the same laws and principles. And we're all, bound to what's happening in our world based on the collective evolution or lack of. And so as much as we can live our individual lives, we're still under this umbrella of the collective evolution. And so we understand how we can play a role in this collective energy because all is one and all is connected. Then we can actually allow ourselves to find our soul purpose and also make a big change within the collective, because our soul purpose always has to be in alignment to broadening and enhancing the collective as well. And that's where you're in sync. Right? And you're in sync with the world, you're in sync with the universe, yada, 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 however you wish to define being in sync. That's what that really means. And the last one, like I said before, is all is connected. Everything's connected. That's why people utilize the law of attraction in a sense to say you're attracting things. It's not so much you're attracting things, you're aligning with things. You're finding things that resonate with your same intellect, your same energy. That's what we are actually doing. And we're encoding and decoding reality based on our perception, based on our awareness and observations. So if you're choosing to see something a certain way, you're going to see other people who see things that way too. And thus you'll think you're attracting things, but it's not that. You're just connecting with that spectrum of energy. And so everything is connected. And so everything affects each other in a certain way, both in a positive sense and a negative sense. And so a lot of people say, when there's things going on in the world that are treacherous and things that are going on in the world where people feel out of control and very, I would say deprived of, because like evil is going on in the world, you fail to recognize by just living your own life and living your own life in truth and love and prosperity and going forward to things in your life that you want, your energy is part of this big mechanism. So when you change and heal your energy, that becomes infectious to everyone around you. You become vibrant. And when you become vibrant in your life, it does inspire others to become more vibrant, thus healing portions of our species. Right? And so we have to understand that, even though you're not directly helping things that you think need help, by living in your truth and living in your essence, it becomes very vibrant and infectious, and others do the same, and that spreads like wildfire. So we have to be very clear that, by helping our species is helping the self too. Right? And all these things of enlightenment brings the 5D perspective, the 5D awareness. And so we hear all the time about the 5D earth, and I would say 5D just means it's a perspective. It's an awareness. You've broadened your perspective to understand that things aren't just 2D, 3D. You can see why things are happening. You understand there really isn't anything about good and evil. Right? It's all about perspective, karmic lessons, karmic journeys. And so the evil we define as very dense energy. Right? But we do not understand, well, when you become in 5D, you will understand why those denser experiences exist and why they need to exist, as well as the other side of the spectrum of the lightest of light, the lovest of love, that we define that to be. But the 5D perspective understands why things happen, and you could accept it. You live in pure acceptance. A lot of people preach, love is love, oh, love is love, oh, love is love. And they wear these stupid shirts, love is love, and they have no fucking clue what it means to be in love. To be in the state of love is to be in acceptance and to be in understanding of why things occur and why things are happening, and the desire to want to nurture. And nurturing doesn't mean you coddle. Nurture means you want to grow and expand and also help others to grow and expand as well, understanding where they're at and why they're in the spaces that they're in. We have a lot of challenges in this 3D world that, with murderers, child rapists, and people who kill people. We detest those things. But we have to also understand those who are being victims of such treacherous things have karmic experiences and karmic patterns from their previous incarnations as well that puts them in those situations to experience such things. And I like to pose the question to people, if, Hitler was to be reincarnated and to be abused, y'all would see it a little differently than such. And, oh, poor kid or poor person. Like, oh, well, that was Hitler reincarnated and being abused in his lifetime and being tortured. Oh, good for him. Y'all will change your tone. So the same thing when it comes to, looking at other aspects of our world and why things are happening. Please remember, there are karmic patterns and experiences that create those dense experiences, good experiences, bad experiences, that you just don't know the story. But this is what 5D perspective really is. You can see all those things. You can see those connections. You can see the dynamics as such and the results of why things are the way they are. And you become an accepting of it. And you don't try to change the world. You try to change yourself, to evolve yourself enough to affect the world. Big difference. Because we are here for soul evolution. And that might sound selfish, but if you understand, everything in this life is all centered around the self. But When you center life around the self and that expands, the natural essence of love gets expressed. And what that natural essence of love really means, you want to share it. You want to spread it in a sense. But it'd be hard for you to not to share and to want to expand that love outwardly. So, but the only way you can expand that love outwardly is to go from the inside out. And it's so funny that I'm saying this, and right the time I say this, Iggy says from the inside out, not outside in. And that's exactly what I've been saying a couple lives ago, is that a lot of guys are looking for the conditions to validate whether or not you're in the right position in your lives, and you're trying to fill that hole. And that's not, you can put all those things in to fill those holes, but they're not gonna fill anything. You have to come from the inward and fill the holes outward based on your own expressions, and understanding that you are the ones that are dictating your happiness, not conditions, not people. You are the ones dictating your happiness. Don't let conditional deprivation say, well, that's now going to be dictating my happiness and why not be happy, because you'll never find the power or control over your circumstances. They will always control you. And so that is part of also the results of enlightenment, that you understand that you are dictating how you're going to feel in the circumstances, and thus dictating the circumstances as a result. Okay? So again, the keys to enlightenment are very key. Get that? You hear what I'm saying? Key to enlightenment is key. But these keys to enlightenment are really kind of the simple practices that you want to dive into of understanding that creates a 5D perspective of what we call enlightenment. And so another, I would say, additional tidbit I want to throw in there about enlightenment is that you never stop growing and never stop learning. You're never done with that. That's very important to understand. People think they figured it all out, are the most dumbest of dumb. Because the smarter you become, the more wisdom you obtain, you realize there's more to learn. You get the dumber you feel, but I don't mean that in a bad way. I mean that in the way that there's so much to quench your thirst. There is so much of an abundance of information, of expression, of understanding to experience. And that's pleasurable. That's actually relieving to me, because I'm like, oh, there's so much more to obtain. Great. Well, then good. I have so much time and so much to evolve into. Good. Because if I was at the end, then what's next? Then we'd be like kind of bored in a sense. So I think it's important for everyone to understand now, like the true love is being accepting. And again, let me to kind of recap, like the keys to enlightenment is, one, know thyself. Right? In totality, not just your physical persona, but your spiritual evolution. 2 is understanding karma. Your karma of others, understanding the mechanism of karma, and also duality is the other key too, is that we live in duality, and there has to be duality in this reality. Okay? And so accepting the duality, and what is your own duality too? The shadow version of self. Right? Know thyself in that sense too. All is one. This is the other key. Everything is one energy. Okay, different fragments, different shards of the same energy. And we're all playing with the same energy. Okay? And that all is connected. Everything's connected. And you cannot disconnect from anything either that you've connected with, because it becomes a part of you. Many people try to disconnect from relationships. And, you can stop communication, but you'll never disconnect from the experience. The experience is embedded in you. It's embedded in your DNA. It's embedded in your karma, because you've grown from those experiences. Please be proud of them. Because a lot of people are saying, I'm not proud of my ex relationship. I'm so mad at it. I hate him. And It's like, well, then you haven't resolved your karma. When you resolved your karma and you've evolved from it, when you're thankful for those experiences because of what it's brought to you. Okay, so you try to disconnect and you try to do this cord cutting with these psychics. I'm going to cord cut this relationship and all these things you're trying to do, and you haven't learned a lesson. You still have resentment. Ain't nothing going to happen. Okay. And when you don't resolve the karma, you leave the psychic connection with those individuals open too. And so that could also create psychic warfare. You feel their energy, they feel your energy, they can manipulate you, vice versa. So you want to stop the communication, but also embrace the experience for what you need and extract the lesson from that, the key for you of that experience, so then you can evolve forward. And then that's how you close connection. You don't close connection just because you say it's closed, especially when you have the unresolved subconsciously still attached to it. So that's if guys are always wondering, how do I close down connections? How do I break a curse in a sense, which we talked about curses this morning on Leading Out Loud. You do so by evolving from these things, by evolving from the circumstances, and pull the lesson and take the power and move on. That's how you shut it down. You don't shut down because you say, I don't want it. So it's important to understand this. I love I love that the patience and power card is just laying here too. Patience and power. Patience is, definitely having patience with the circumstances that you were in, but more importantly, having patience with yourself, because patience doesn't mean that you're waiting. Patience means that you're nurturing. A lot of times when people hear, you have to be patient, they think, oh, I don't want to wait any longer. It's like, if you think waiting is patience, you're not being patient correctly. Patient means that you're nurturing your circumstances. You're taking a little bit of time to nurture. Right? Just like a child who falls off a bike, and I use this analogy all the time, you don't try to rush them to learn how to ride the bike. You're like patient with them. You allow them to like take their time to figure it out. And so we got to treat ourselves like the kids that are still trying to ride the bicycle. If you fall off, be patient. It's okay. You don't beat yourself up. You don't call yourself dumb because you fell off. You don't call yourself dumb because you picked the wrong relationship. You don't call yourself stupid because, you repeat the same patterns in your relationships. You don't call yourself stupid because you didn't find the right job or you're not finding the right job. You're like, it's okay, I'll find it. You nurture the process. You nurture yourself. Because you have to ask yourself, when you become enlightened, what type of power are you feeding to yourself? And is it rational to get what you want in the end result of your life? For example, if you're not getting the relationships that you want, if you keep saying, I'm stupid, I'm dumb, I'm not getting it, or, I'm this and that, and you start beating yourself down, you're just you're depriving yourself of the power to fuel you to get what you want and moving forward in the future. So always be conscious of what you're feeding yourself and what you're telling yourself. Because if you're beating yourself down, who's going to build you up? Nobody. So that's another part of like knowing thyself and being very conscious of how the hell you're treating yourself. And that comes with your thoughts, your self-judgments, the pressure, all these things. So when you're more conscious of that, you start taking the load off of you. And then you allow yourself to reconfigure in the circumstances that you in and evolve from it. And that's kind of going back to the collective read that we were saying before about, when you're stepping outside the box now, that you don't kind of run rampage on it. You kind of look where you're leaping. You don't just start damning your past. Don't start judging your past and judging the shadow version of self. You allow yourself to emerge like a butterfly emerging from a cocoon. You just got to push away, but you emerge because you understood the process you needed to be to push through. And you accept it. You accept the evolution. And that's more results of true enlightenment. And so it isn't about learning the mechanics of the universe. That's not enlightenment. It isn't about like practicing affirmations. That's not enlightenment. Those are tools. And a lot of people think they're enlightened because I wrote something down 369 times. And so, the 369 rule, I'm manifesting. That is not enlightenment. That's you trying to hack a reality to get what you want, which is nothing short of two-dimensional perspective to me. Desires are, to me, expressions of your soul. So when you want something, look at the energy that you're trying to express, not the actual symbolic representation of the physical world, because you become very materialistic and very much physically charged, in a sense. And therefore, things will become stuck, hitting a wall. Right. Exactly, Iggy. Fuck, my 555 affirmations. I did it. What's happening? Exactly. And I said that a couple lives ago too. Many people think like, oh my God, it's not working. I forgot my affirmations. That's why it's not manifesting. That's why. It's like, no, you don't have to affirm anything. You can actually scream and say, fuck, I want my life to change. And it'll change actually because you got through to true passion in a sense. So final, card pull here too is all about, intuition. Okay, this is a High Priestess card, guys. So really tapping into the soul, the intuition, that power. And when we all hear it's all within, and, early on I'd hear that and I was kind of like, yeah, like it's so cliche. But like when you really understand and connect what that means to be what's all within, it changes your life. So I would urge you all to be very curious of what it means when it says it's all within. Don't just hear it. Don't just hear the bumper sticker and take it. Okay, I've heard it. Say, what does that really mean though? I want you to dive deep within yourself to understand if it's all within, well, what's within? Let me go searching for within. Let me look within. Let's keep looking inwardly. I want to find what everyone keeps talking about when it says it's all within, right? And so that's going to, and I say a little curiosity goes a long way. And I think that's where you're going to find more of yourself, more of the answers that you're needing, more of the answers that you've been kind of looking for out in the outer world. And again, the outer world is a representation where it has reflections, but you're going to get the answers from within. Okay. And so that's another form when you're enlightened. You just know this. You just know, like I'll go within. I'll let me shut everybody else off for a minute. Let me recalibrate. Let me recalibrate within myself to find the true answers that I need and the guidance that I really need. Okay. And so it's a process, and not everyone's going to get there right away either. And there's also times where it's hard to look within, which is why there's people like us, the therapists and psychics and intuitives that can help to insist to read you. Right. So, so this is a week for this, guys. This is a week for you guys to be very effective now. And so I always say, people say, I think too much. Like, no, you just got to think in your favor. It's Virgo season, right? So if you're overthinking things, it's okay. Just overthink in your favor. A lot of you guys are overthinkers. I'm an overthinker, but I just use my my thinking aspect, right? My over analytical aspect. Excuse me, I was tongue tied on that. In my favor, and I make sure that I'm thinking properly, making sure I'm getting rid of thoughts that aren't serving me, situations that aren't serving me. So it's okay to look at things and to process things as long as you're being conscious of how you're doing it. All right. All right. I don't know where I was in that read because, of course, I channel my topics and discussions and read, so I'm a little lost. I don't know what I just said. I'm just going to hopefully it all made sense. And we have a wonderful, before we get into live readings, I have a wonderful message from Nina. So, and I need the break too for a moment, a little breather. So here's a wonderful message from Nina before we get into live readings.
What is up, Thursday crew? It is me, Nina. I'm excited to share this channel message and pull for y'all. So the energy that I picked up on is that all really is in the small, in the sense that what you wish to accomplish can be through the small, kind of mundane rememberings and learnings. It doesn't have to be this whole like scientific textbook thing or this thing you have to sit and learn and really try super hard. Spirit's saying this remembering is within you. It's the little tiny rememberings that will help you unlock the greater remembering of it all. And so the first card that came through actually was the wisdom card with the owl right there. And it's the owl and the hop, and it's about wisdom. The second card that popped up was curiosity. So having this kind of curious, playful energy to areas of your life that you feel like are, which is the next card, stagnant. It's the stagnation card, the lizard and the pitcher plant. So these three popped up in succession. It was wisdom, curiosity, and stagnation. And so to overcome the stagnation, you will need that form of playfulness that the raccoon has, that curiosity, and that is ultimately how you will reach that wisdom and that enlightenment or that sense of peace within yourself. You won't find it from a textbook, you won't find it from a program. It's all within you, and it is ready to be unlocked.
Okay, and just I didn't read. I just watching Nina's message now, so we're kind of in sync clearly because I'm kind of testing it now because the only thing that Nina knows is the topic, right? And so it's funny that the message is kind of similar to the message I just channeled. So and of course it's always in sync that way. I'm not surprised. So yeah, it's a beautiful message, and yes, the little things in life. Yes, 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 yes. The little things, and remember, in order to make a big puzzle, you need little pieces together, right, to make a big picture, right? So, yes, pay attention to these little things too. And so many people say, like, am I missing any signs? I'm like, they're all around you. The little things, little signs are all around you. So absolutely. Great message. Thank you, Nina. Okay, to the readings now. And Anna Marquez, random card pull. And yeah, I think I'm going to eliminate the card pulls next week and do more question-based. Okay. Iggy, really? But the secret told me otherwise. Right, the secret told me, the secret just said, just think about it and it happens. You don't have to do anything. You don't have to learn anything about yourself. Just practice what you want all the time. It's about getting the car. That's what it's about. That's spirituality. Get in the car. Got to get the house. That's what spirituality is about. And when you get that house, you're spiritual. It's not about evolving. No. It's not about resolving karma and evolving the soul. Of course not. The secret said I just have to think about what I want. That's all. Yeah, I always said the secret was like the next get rich quick scheme. You know, that was a spiritual version of the get rich quick scheme. Selling you the dream, you know, and things trying to sell you the dream instead of selling you the process. Red flag. Okay, I'm still shuffling these cards for Anna Marquez. Okay, Okay. The simple message, and guys, the card pulls are very simple and generic. Okay, so the questions will be a little slightly more in depth. Card pulls is just very generic. That's why it's a random card pull. For me, the simple card pull here for me is Prince of Pentacles, Hierophant, and Two of Wands, which to me is to really kind of tell me there's going to be two decisions for work or two business opportunities that might unfold to you in the next few months. So you might get some sort of opportunity for a pay raise, or if you're looking for a pay raise, get one. Or if you're looking to somehow increase profits, now is the time to do so. And so taking charge of your money, and I love the creation card also came out with that as well about creating this next step. So I feel like you'll have opportunities, either two opportunities or two paths or two different aspects to where you'll be in a position to either make more money or have a different aspect of what you want to do for work. And I feel like the creation is also could be a creative endeavor, maybe too, or just creating the next endeavor. So I think that's kind of, to me, reading as being the both aspects too. But so I think that choose wisely and make sure that now it's time for the recognition that you need to get also to make the money, or at least being profitable in what you want to be profitable in. Okay, so it's kind of like urging you, but also kind of confirming it too. Okay, next is for Grace B. What is causing my acne, and should I be taking something to help it? And card pull. What is helping your acne, and what is should we doing taking care of it? Lacking of what though? To me, it feels like nutrient deficiency. To me, Grace. I don't feel like you're hydrating enough, and to me it's like purging something, like it's like you're constantly purging a toxin, right? So to me it's coming from, it's not external, it's internal for me, this. So there's something within your regimen. It's interesting. What comes to mind is when I had a neighbor a couple years ago. She was vegan and she was breaking out. She didn't understand why. And I said, I think that it's whatever you're consuming with your vegan diet or something processed. And she told me she showed me the product. I'm not going to say it on air. I said, I think you should cut that out. And she did, and it went away, actually. So for me, it feels like something that you're eating and you're purging, but also not getting the right amount of nutrient density. It feels imbalanced, your diet in that sense, and not hydrated enough. So I'll definitely look into your more diet. It feels like it's coming from within, not, something external in a sense. And so you might have to do an overhaul. I'm also feeling like you need to bring more healthier fats into your diet too. And so I think that's another issue as well. But things like, sugars, guys, things like even processed foods that you might think are healthy, but they're using the wrong oils or hydrogenated oils and soybean oils, those cause issues with a lot of people. And so you need to do a detox, Grace, is what I would do, and start kind of work with your regimen from scratch and start over. And again, looking for more healthier fats and proteins. Make sure you're really hydrating yourself and that you're getting the proper nutrient density that you're wanting, that you actually need, in a sense. Because again, to me, it's almost like a detox when there's that acne and that irritation and that reaction, because it's purging something. But for me, it's coming from within. It's not an external situation. I would also, if you want to do any type of topicals, I'd definitely always recommend frankincense and myrrh, tea tree oil, essential oils that I and even lavender oil, are things that I recommend for like any type of skin for topicals in a sense. But for me, inward, outward, in that sense. We have to also understand too, this is the type of rices that we need to be very mindful of, and not everything vegan is healthy, guys. And I'm not saying you're vegan, but I'm saying a lot of these things that say they're vegan are so unhealthy. They're made with hydrogenated oils, or they're made with really bad products and chemicals. And it could be one chemical or one ingredient in a product that could be causing all of that. And I'm speaking as I'm shuffling a card in conjunction because you wanted a card pull too. This is an emotional pull, the card pull. They're saying that, you are being forward thinking, like you're looking beyond where you want to be. So kind of like I was saying before about looking outside the box, you are doing this, but then you kind of self-sabotage. You got to get past the self-sabotage energy. Okay. And also stick to your guns. That you might be flip-flopping on, your perspective on things. So I would stick to your guns when it comes to your emotional, your voice. Kind of what we were saying in the beginning with the collective read, actually, this is pulling for me. Because like, again, 3 of Wands, 10 of Swords, all about kind of defeating yourself. And also the 5 of Swords in reverse means you're not being stern on your voice. So they're saying to be more stern on your voice, be more clear, and don't let other things trample you down, because you might not understand why or how things could happen for you. So that's more of an emotional read of sticking to your guns, and keep moving forward to what you see beyond the bigger picture. And yeah, all these things, this is why I'm not talking about remedies in a sense, because coconut oil is magic, and like I was saying, frankincense oil for the skin, and lavender oil and chi oil. But if you're not solving the problem within, the topicals and other things are not going to really matter. And the coconut oil is great for as antibacterial, but you also have to figure out what you're consuming that's causing that. That's why I want you to understand what's going on with the dietary from within out in that sense too, because a lot of times we can take the solutions, but they're not helping if you're not getting rid of the cause or the thing that's really creating the issue. Okay. Next is Christina Kautsodas. Okay. Get a read for what is happening. Pull a few cards. Having to make a decision about travel next month, and my little one side. You're the best. What's the question? Is it about travel? For what is happening? Am I understanding correctly? Is it a question about travel, Christina? Okay. Or what is the question? Just kind of what's going on? I think am I making understanding of that? Just generally, well, the travel, why not? If I'd encourage you, is the right time to take the trip? Is it not the right time to take the trip? Or is it, something that you should or shouldn't do, right? I think that you should take the trip. They're saying that you need to get out of your current circumstances. There needs to be a change, right? So we'll get into that. There needs to be a change of energy, a change of space, a change of movement. And so I think that taking a trip or traveling of some nature is going to help you get out of a stint, right? And this is a reminder for you too. Interesting, the cards that you're getting. Something's going to happen with work or career quickly. Okay, something, because I feel like even with the 5 of Wands here, right? Too, if you can see that. There's something, and then of course you have more Wands here too, which is the 8 of Wands, Wands are the creative energy for me too, emotional or creative. And then of course the 7 of Pentacles came right after that. So it's almost like saying things will be happening quickly for you soon. Whatever you've been trying to create, and almost understanding and accepting that the plans that you have been the seeds that you have been that you planted. I said it reversed. The seeds that you planted, you've still been nurturing that, and it takes time for those things to grow. So they're kind of reminding you the seeds that you've planted are going to start coming to fruition, and there will be some sort of, the 5 of Wands is a very competitive energy for me, or at least could be the fact that there's multiple opportunities or different aspects that might come to light for you in regards to, any type of creative work endeavor. Right. And so, and 8 of Wands means all about kind of fast movement, things happening quickly. So I think taking the trip will ignite this energy. Taking that trip will kind of get that movement going, and push you into that paradigm of things actually do happening, and these ideas and these opportunities kind of coming before you. I like how the 10 of Cups also come in conjunction. It's all about, happiness and fulfillment. Right. And so I don't want to be general, like, oh, you're going to be happy and fulfilled. It's like, it's not that simple. But it's saying that, going that direction and where you've been going that direction is part of the happiness and fulfillment. Like that's the direction these things are heading in. Right. So I think right now you're in a period, like in a holding pattern is what I call it, or recalibration phase, where there hasn't been movement, but you're getting prepared and ready for the next change and next movement in a sense. So that's why you're in the position that you're at now. We need to be in tune to understand when we're kind of resting before things pick up. You understand? Oh, I'm in a down period because I had to rest because things are about to pick up. So I need to have the energy and build the energy up. So when things get busy, I have the stamina to do so. Right? So we have to be keen enough to understand this. We think, oh my God, life has stopped. What am I doing wrong? It's like, you're not doing anything wrong. There's an up and down to your trajectory in life, like I said weeks ago. And that every down moment in your life does not mean that it's a bad that you're doing something wrong. It just simply means that productivity, then you have a time of rest, productivity, a time of rest, productivity, time of reflection, time of clearing things out. So you're always going to have ups and downs this way in life. It's time to redefine that, So there you go on that. But yeah, I think that's something that, when you look at this and take a trip and get out of the current phase, current momentum, current energy will push you forward. Okay. And yeah. I've had to help my little one transition unexpectedly. So yes, it's one. Yeah. I mean, and again, like animals depart at the right time. Right? Our little fur babies, we call them, right? They always transition and know when it's time to leave, when something is about to change, right? So I always say, it's always, we're going to grieve no matter what, but understanding the importance that animals do say, it's time for me to leave. It's time for the new chapter for you. So please understand they're sentient enough to know when the new chapter is going to begin too. So also I want to say the transition of your little one is actually a symbolic expression that the new chapter, new paradigm is about to begin, like we just said before. And so, yes. And so take that trip, get some movement going, get that energy going, okay, in your life. So create some more movement. Okay, got to move on. So I don't exhaust. Stephanie, should I stay in the luxury team that I'm in or do my solo agent thing? I'm finally seeing my efforts of trying to coddle my media and real estate world, as we said, so good. I'm really trying to do both because media is my passion too. Yeah, we'll do both. Again, it's what I said last time on this is that you're phasing still. So you don't need to make any brash decisions right now, Stephanie. It's a phasing period, which means you'll be doing things will be kind of cross phasing a little bit, and then things will phase out, then you phase into something new. So stop trying to make a decision right now is the answer. Stop trying to decide this or that. Right now it's this and that right now, and utilize as much as you can from both so you can make the fully phasing transition. So no, I would not say do this or do that right now. It's this and that right now. You're going to juggle. It's what I said a couple weeks before, and it's now showing to be true. But the juggling is going to be pushing you forward, and you're going to be utilizing all those resources and I would say connections and experiences that you've had to push you forward into the more independent space. So your luxury team is still getting you to do more in the space of luxury and learning more, because until you feel comfortable doing it on your own, you'll be confident enough to do so. Yeah, but that's what it is right now, my love. Like you're grinding your gears right now. Okay? You don't have to do everything, right? And so in a sense of the work that you were doing for yourself, that's what we're saying, but you don't have to do everything because people need help either, right? So know your limits, know your boundaries. But right now you're phasing between the different aspects of your own career, but you don't have to take on everything either. So just be clear about this. I'm talking about the luxury team going solo and media and kind of doing the real estate aspect and phasing all that. You're kind of juggling with that for a while, as you should be, until it fully phases into the independent direction, because you have to gain the confidence and the inspiration and all the experience that you're having now to be able to do so. So accept that, but don't take on too much either. Don't take on like stuff you don't need to take on. If the office needs help, well, it's not your job either to do all the help there either, right? So let's be rational on that. Let me tell you this, Stephanie, about the juggling, because it's going to teach you how to micromanage. Because if you want to look ahead, when you have your own CEO, when you're your own CEO of your own company / business, you're going to be thankful that you learned how to juggle. You're gonna be thankful that you understood how to, do this two things at once in a sense. Because when you run your own company, you run your own business, and you are the CEO of your own business and company, you can micromanage very easily. So remember, this is teaching you valuable lessons during this time that you need, and also, like I said before, the experience that you need. Okay. All right. We have Patricia Bone Cutter live video. Okay, Patricia, I'm going to send you a link. Let me just make sure I can copy this. Good. Tomorrow I have a very important call with a very high profile music manager that I've known for years. Good. So good. See, this is what you're doing right now, love. You're juggling, but you're getting contacts and information, like I've said months ago. So it's all panning out the way it needs to. Like I said it would. Hate to pat myself on the back on that, but just so you know, we've been talking about this. Okay, so Patricia Bone Cutter, I'm putting a link to call in. I'm replying to, if you keep your Venmo open. I commented on the transaction with the link to call in for the video. And let me get my headphones when that happens in. And so click on that link and we'll join you in. And let me just check my PayPal here for those as well. Okay. Oh, let me see. Did somebody say juggling dream juggler? It's funny. Oh, let me see. Felicia, let me see. Did we do Felicia? Let's see. Let me go look at this. Felicia H. Let me see. I don't see a Felicia here. Let me check PayPal, because it could be on the PayPal. I'm checking my PayPal too now. Let's see. Un momento, por favor. Okay, wrong email. Did you send it Venmo or PayPal, Felicia? Because I'm now just logging into my PayPal to do my PayPal questions. Un momento, por favor. Okay. Yes, Felicia. I have you right here on the PayPal. Okay, and then so the question is, my ex came back asking to start over as friends to see if we can rebuild something. Should I even bother or just let the relationship be complete? I've taken all the lessons and won't be repeating past cycles, so unless he shows up differently, I'm out. But what is happening? Okay, let's see. I want to read his energy and see if he's changed and if he's going to move forward, change, and how that's going to look, right? You'll make your decisions. We can't make the decisions, but I'll let you know what will help you to make the decision. All right. Let me get a gist on his energy. No. What I feel like is, I feel like he's wanting to like start intimate relationships. So he says friends, but I think he's just wanting intimacy. And trying to rebuild something. I don't think that that's something that, I would say he's not capable of it, because everyone's capable of something. I just don't feel like it's something, there's no change there. I think what he's really saying is, can we like hang out and like be intimate? And the whole thing, as to rebuild something, for me, is his way of kind of letting you maybe be okay with being intimate. So I just feel like the main intention is just to be intimate, sexually. Not so much really dive deep into understand, where you're coming from, what you're doing, and how to change, how to become a better person. I don't feel that from him in that regard. I think he feels a deprivation that you guys have split up, missing the intimate aspect of it, wants to bring that in and say, maybe kind of keep you on a leash, saying, well, maybe we'll rebuild something, and so I don't feel that's really where he's coming from. And so I personally feel like even if he were to change, it would be like a micro change, but then same old, back to the same old programming type of thing, and I don't feel like he sticks with things in generally. Like generally he doesn't stick with things. And so I just feel like he's going to kind of be the same repetitive energy, maybe show something new, and then goes back to same energy. I just feel his main intention is to want to be intimate with you again. I'll be intimate. We'll call it friends. I'll kind of lead her on to think that maybe we can do something more, but we won't, you know. So, and I don't know if that's necessary. He's even aware of that, but that's to me the vibe where it's coming from. So personally, I would, I would move on. I would, if you feel inclined to interact, do so, but be conscious of it. Be just objective of how you're processing the information and use your intuition, because you'll probably see, that he's kind of just being, blowing smoke up my behind in a sense. But I think that, even if, and I'll even go down this path to you, even if he was changing, it takes so much time for you to see it. So that means you'll still have to be suffering and sacrificing and, making it more about his timing and his wavelength, even if he was changing. So I just feel like it'd be cumbersome either way, Astro Elements, cool name. General read, recent breakup, kind of discouraged. Well, you paid for card pull, Astro Elements. So we'll see what the cards have to say about it. Okay. Felicia, my love, babe, you know what I mean? Like, you feel it. Let me tell you something, Felicia. You can feel the stale energy. Words are words. Don't be persuaded by words. Look at the consistency. Look at the patterns. Keep it there. Okay? Okay, Felicia? All right. Astral Elements is the last, and I'm still waiting on the reading, the video reading too. I left a comment, and so Nina, do you mind trying to get a hold of Patricia? Is that you, Patricia Bonecutter? Patricia Prince? Is that the same person? So Patricia Bonecutter, if you're in the room, please. I commented on the Venmo transaction with the link to call in for the video read. Okay, so please click on that. And this is for Astral Elements recent breakup. It's interesting. Here's why you're discouraged, because it's funny. I got the Judgment card and the King of Pentacles right for you on this Astro. One is saying that you let your partner have way too much control and leverage. Way too much. You let your partner dictate things. And it's kind of like, I want Felicia to hear this too, but I think Felicia's kind of out of this as well. And the King of Pentacles is, usually my lawyer card or financial card. But for me, when it comes to a relationship in this sense, it's someone who's very charming, but kind of like takes the lead on everything. You're giving up too much of the lead in your relationships. And you're being too judgmental on yourself because of this. Like, you should allow yourself to, it shouldn't have to be about what you're doing, what you're not doing, and how bad you are, and you didn't give enough, and didn't do enough. And it really should be about the circumstance was not enough. The circumstance didn't work for me. The collaboration of this energy didn't work for me. The connection wasn't working for me. The chemistry wasn't spot on for me. That's how you should be looking at it. You're being too self-judgmental about it. Oh, I break up now. I don't know if I can meet someone else in the future. Why would you go that far emotionally? And everybody else in the room, listen up to this. When you get into a breakup, oh, well, I meet someone again? Why wouldn't you? If you're able to spend time with a douchebag, which is out of the scope of what you're wanting, and I'm not saying this with you, Astro, but I'm just using an extreme analogy, why can't you think you can find the other end of the spectrum of someone who's a true match for you? Out of the billions of people in this world, surely there are hundreds of millions that match you in this life. Because if one person has a perspective, there are millions of others that have the same perspective. If one person has a calibration of energy, there are millions of people that have the same calibration of energy. Why are you guys shortchanging yourselves when it comes to relationships? Because you lost something, you think you're going to lose in life forever? How does that? That's not rational. So what you need is more of a rational perspective. I'm finding that you let the people, your partners, dictate too much in the relationships. You rely too much on the partner's energy versus dominating, or not want to say dominating, excuse me, by showing up and leading with your own energy. Because you should not be looking for a man. You should not be looking for a woman. You should be looking for a partnership, which means is you're looking for chemistry. You're looking for chemistry. That's what you're looking for. I need a man. I need a man. No, you want a relationship. You want chemistry. What does that mean? And how are you interacting in the chemistry? So once more, let's get out of self-judgment aspect of like, oh, I broke up in a relationship. Now I feel woe is me and I'm disheartened. I won't find anybody. It's like, that's a bunch of bullshit. There's so many people in this world, and you have to understand who is like you and who thinks, what is your tribe? Let's be simple, right? Let's be simple on this. What's your tribe? What's your people? So, and again, definitely you want to make sure you're not relying and at mercy or at the beck and call of somebody else's energy, because you will always be disappointed, because if you're allowing yourself to be someone else's shadow, at some point, they can go somewhere else. You know, so stop looking for a man, stop looking for a woman, guys. Look for chemistry. I'm looking for chemistry. Big difference. Stop saying, I'm looking for a boyfriend, I'm looking for a relationship. I'm looking for chemistry. Watch what happens in your life. Right? Watch what happens. Watch what shows up. It's a change of perspective. So yeah, so with the judgment card, astro elements, yeah, they're saying you're judging yourself too much and you're being at the beck and call of their partner too much, which is making you feel more shitty about yourself. Which of course, the shittiness about you feel yourself is because you're actually degrading yourself for your relationships, in a sense. Because to me, that's a form of being a degradation. Okay, Nina, do we have Patricia here for the live reading? Next, we have Amy Dietz. Okay, well, Amy, I can only do this. Nina, can you get Amy's information so I can send her the link, please? Because I can only do the live videos through Venmo, because I can only respond through Venmo. I'm not going to put the link in the chat room. So Nina, if we can find Amy's information to send her a link, por favor. Can you hear me? Or Amy, do you have? I'll do this. I'll send the email. Amy, I'm going to send you an email with the link. Okay. I'm going to email you a link to join for the read, because I don't have anything. Nina, you in the room? Anywhere? Okay, here, do this. To Amy Dietz, and hold on a second, guys. This is live. I got to get this in here. I know that Venmo is the only way I can actually send you a link to call in live. So I'm having to take the time out to do to send you an email to send you the link to call in. So check your email in a moment, because that's the only way I can send you the link to call in for the live. And I'm going to do it right now. So check your email and then click on that link, and that'll call in. Okay. So the email I sent it to was the one that was linked to your PayPal. Okay. And Nina, if you're in the room, you find Patricia. Okay, so check that link out there, Amy. Did you get that? So we can have you on? Check your email, click on that link. Should get you in here real quick. Okay, perfect. Try to open the email confirmation and then copy and paste or click from it. Yeah, but it's not through Rashid. It's actually through here. It's not through a session like from my booking system right now. Rhonda says, how nice are you? Love how you always share the hard truth in a caring way, but as ways some of us need. I hope so. It's a passion for you guys. It's definitely passion for me. All right, we got Amy Dietz calling. Thank you for that, Rhonda. Okay, bear with me un momento as we get Amy on here. Let me get my headset on so I don't have an echo. Un momento. All right. Sorry, Amy, I'm coming. These headphones are they're not very easy just to pop on in for some reason. As you can see. Oh yeah, I gotta find other ones. Yeah, these are obnoxious. All right. Okay, let's get her in here. Add to right. Add you in. Okie dokie. Give me un momento here. Hi, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but I don't know if you'll hear me.
I hear you fine. Yes.
Oh, good. Well, a lot of times the earbud doesn't work for people, and I'd rather keep it on the earbud than make it broadcast through my house.
Yeah, the AirPods can be a pain in the ass too. They don't really work very well. But so what's your question?
Well, it's kind of more of a situation that I want your enlightenment on, I guess. Maybe I should say.
Okay.
But I'm Capricorn. It's been rough for the full 16 years for sure. But the last 2 years, I have an adult daughter. I've got 2 sets of kids, but I have an adult daughter. The last 2 years have been incredibly hard. And today I called for a welfare check and had her picked up and taken in for 72-hour psych eval. But she's tried to kill herself a couple times. Mm-hmm. And today was going to be another day.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me tap into, because I don't want you to tell me too much too, because I want to validate a lot of that for you too. The first thing is, I'm not a mom, right? So I don't know what it's like to be a mother, but I have a mother who, had many issues with my brother, and I'm very transparent about it. Whether my mom wants it to be transparent or not, it's not. It's my choice to be transparent. My brother's been in and out of prison since he was 16, and he's now 45 and has 2 30-year sentences. And, my mom always felt a lot of guilt for the experience and thinking that she did something or had to do something to change this. And the hard truth is that you're not responsible, and you're not responsible for the adult making the decisions. And a lot of times when you try to help, it ends up making it worse, right? And so with your daughter, but let me read your daughter though, because again, you're going to have to get to a point where you need to choose your level of responsibility and how much her decisions are going to start affecting you to what degree, because you can't die. Already. Right. But Sammy, you can't die because of the situation. But let me read her and see what's going on with her too. Give me a second, because at the end of the day, my love, we have to understand how to process differently, because I don't feel like she's going to make any change anytime soon. Right? It might take 5 years. Okay? I'm seeing relapse and and all that stuff. So I do feel like there's also substance involved, whether it be pills or some sort of also self-medicating in a sense. So she has a lot to work through with that. Now, I think that the suicidal ideation, which I'm very aware of, I'm very familiar with, she doesn't really want to take her life. I think she's living in a subconscious aspect of just living on the edge, always cutting it close to, because I do think she's smart enough to where she knows her limits, but she also understands that when she comes close to her limits, she gets this sense of nurturing and attention that she knows she'll be pulled out of. I have to say, my love, and I'm going to be very direct on this, she's slightly manipulating you a little bit too. Okay? And I also feel that there's a bit of a hypochondria that she expresses, because it allows her to feel like she can manipulate people for attention. You are not the cause of this. I do feel like you're enabling this, but I'm getting, there's a lot of bad, I would say, connection with the male energies in her life. So whether it be the father energy that she's rebelling against, and other connections of male energies in her life as well. I get also a history of abuse with her too. Maybe she's either articulated this or not. So she's definitely carrying on with this. So I really get this aggressive energy coming from her, and this complete opposite energy coming from her. She could be aggressive, then she'd be pulling back. So what she really does need, and she doesn't need, she's a psychotherapist. And she needs a psychotherapist who can also work with mental health treatment, because again, I'm not anti-Western medicine. I do think with regulation of certain, antidepressant energy medications, as well as psychotherapy and spiritual development, that can help her to purge, the trauma from the past. No one's helped her to purge the trauma. What's happening is people keep responding to her behaviors. And so if somehow someone can get in with her in her heart and be less judgmental, and I don't mean that you're being judgmental, but being in a space of to where you understand why she's doing what she's doing, and talk to her heart to heart, and not address her with this and say, really kind of hitting home on the nail of why she's really doing what she's doing, and want to get her help on that aspect, she might have a different response. Yeah. Right. And
unfortunately, it's not the case.
I'm saying that's why I say she might.
I've done everything. This thing going
right,
on.
but the approach is what I'm saying, and that it may take 5 years on that, though. Like I said previously, right? But in that case, though, my love, if you're not equipped to handle it, there's got to be a way that you also preserve your own mental health and your own spiritual health too. Okay, because in situations like this, and I also feel too, my love, there's a little paranoid schizophrenia that she's experiencing right now too. Okay.
I believe that.
And so only a professional can actually, have this occur. So right now, I think if she's in care with professionals, that might be the best for her, especially if she acts up more within care. They might have to hold on to her. And that might be the best thing for her moving forward. And it's having that constant supervision. So I don't feel like... Yes. So I don't feel like she's going to necessarily, succumb to this intellectually do her own passing. I feel like she'll get herself down to the ground to where she'll have to be in confinement to a degree, where then people can at least try to help resolve her with at least the emotional traumas, and not just pacifying with medications and so forth. So this is something I want you to put your intellectual energy and spiritual energy towards, so you can allow her. Let me explain this to you. We all have psychic connections with those that we love and those who are in our lives. So if you keep projecting to her energy that you're going to get through this, you're going to resolve this, you're going to resolve this, even if you're away, but you project that energy to her, she'll receive it. And any crevice of openness she'll have, she'll get your flooding of energy toward her, from you to her. So that might allow her to see things differently, to get her to move in a better direction. We don't realize that when we worry about somebody and we're connected to them, we're sending them more of that energy, and it will amplify more of their own warrior fear. So I just want right now, as you take a step back, understand projecting a different energy and say to her psychically, you got this. You can resolve from this. You're going to heal from this. And that could be the best you can do. And you can watch little increments of change within her. Okay. But right now, I would say, honestly, you're, and this is not to feel bad, but I know you know this. I know you feel this right now, is that by stepping in right now, it's making it worse because she resents you right now. Okay. And that's
called me today, and I haven't spoke to her. I stepped away months ago. And
right. Well, that's the manipulation we're talking about.
That's on you. I can't do it. It's not my fault. It's not my fault. And you're an adult. Everyone makes a choice. Everything that happens is a choice. If you brush your teeth, you made a choice.
Right.
I can't do anything else. So.
But that's the manipulation we're talking about. You're not equipped. So, if you want to do anything, you provide someone who's close to her some sort of resource for her to get some, mental evaluations and help in that sense. But it's just one of those situations that, it really is about understanding your own karma, of detaching from the responsibility, but also projecting a better energy to want her to change and heal too. Because you understand where it's coming from. That's the compassion we're talking about. And it was a long process for my mom. Yeah. But it was
late, but I do understand.
Right.
And everything you've said is point on. I mean,
But it was a long process for my mom, my love. It was a long process for my mom to release, and even now and then she still feels responsible. But that's just because it's being a mom. You just have that. So I think right now that you're in that position to take a step back, it would be a great thing. But make sure you're projecting a good energy in the process. Any specific questions with her though that you might, looking forward, that you might want some more insight on? So I'm kind of just validating you, because it's nothing that you don't already know. It's just kind of a validation,
Right. You did. I mean, you're you're spot on. Spot
But
on.
any
Well,
other
she's
questions?
an alcoholic. It's not drugs that I'm aware of, but definitely you hit it on the moon.
That's a
And
self-medicating, yeah.
she's a domestic violence survivor.
That's the abuse, right? Continuing.
Yeah, and she's got 3 kids. The kids were taken away from her. She wanted me to take the kids temporarily so she could get her, way through, blah blah. And but I played the hard hand, the tough hand, and I said, "You crossed the line. We had a deal. This is what you had to do." And then I would do this, and now I left Florida early to come back to help you, and you're drunk before I even leave Florida.
Right. Well, she knows how to spin things around with you. And look, my mother was hands-on helping my brother, and but listen too, my mother was hands-on helping my brother, didn't change him. So
no,
no matter what approach,
I just walked away.
Right. So what approach, they're going to live the life they're destined to live and to repeat the karma they're destined to repeat or learn from. So all you need to work on now is healing, my love. That's what you need to focus on now, is just healing, right? Healing, because even though you understand this stuff, my love, you still carry guilt, right? And you still carry your own self-judgments about the circumstance. Even though you know the circumstance intellectually, you still have to purge your own personal guilt that you have toward this. Okay, and understand that whatever you did or didn't do is irrelevant at this point too. But allowing yourself to heal from even the choice you made with her father, because I feel a lot of issues with her dad. Okay, that she possesses and carries still. And again, you're not responsible for her dad's actions and behaviors either. But you have to allow yourself to grow and evolve in your own personal journey through this. And I think that, when you do change yourself too in that way and heal and process that in that way, you'll start realizing it's helping her too indirectly. That's a spiritual connection that you guys have, that when you change, it'll help her heal and change too. And so I would say I commend you for practicing the art of letting go in that sense. But, I feel like though, I didn't see her changing anytime soon, but I was seeing like a 5-year gap to where there is actually a light at the end of the tunnel for her in the next 5 years, where I do feel like she is coming to terms in that time space. So there is actually a great change for her, actually.
It's like a long time.
Well, my love, these things, sometimes I don't see any change, right? Or sometimes there is no change. But I think 5 years' time, based on where she's at, what she's been through, is kind of quick, actually. So I was surprised to see 5 years. But that doesn't mean you have to drag yourself out through the 5 years either. All right. Is there any other questions you want to ask me before we close this?
I know you're over time, and I appreciate you having to mess around because I didn't use Venmo. No, I guess maybe a quick just general me. I've been feeling so stuck and heavy and bored and
right. But this is but my even though well this the reason why is, and this is more of a psychological assessment, because I really feel even though you're detaching, this has been your world, my love. Even if you've been pushing it away,
have been my entire life.
I know that, because you're that's like caretaking energy, right? And so, and especially if you're caretaking your work and your job and stuff, that's not helping either, right? And so you haven't really found your own voice, your own perspective. Everything has been dependent on everybody else: kids, work, children, relationship. So that's why I'm saying the healing within you is saying that you have to start living for yourself now. And you can't help anybody if you're not living for yourself, as you know. So to me, it's really about finding that power, right? And so
that's the funny thing. I've got all the answers. I would tell somebody the exact same thing you said.
But of course, but that's why you're saying it, my love. That's why you're saying it. But that's why you're saying it, And so you have a very nurturing, nursing energy, right? And in order to find the balance of this nurturing, nursing energy, you're going to have to be at your wit's end. This is part of your own evolution, your own karma, right? And so you found your limits. And so right now it's like saying, okay, well, now it's time to find your voice. It's time to start setting the boundaries, not just with your child, because they've been your life. This situation has been your life, but even outside of your child and your children and work, you got to set these boundaries too. And my friend's mother who passed away, a couple of years ago, we evaluated her life, and everything was about everybody else in her life, and she just sat alone, not doing anything for herself, and everything was about everybody else, and she didn't progress doing things she wanted to do in life. And so I would say taking baby steps and micro steps to get that way. It could be maybe you wanted to read a book, go read the book. It's stupid little changes that Nina said at the beginning. These little changes that you make fill in the bigger picture. So if you're not used to living for yourself, try to find the little stupid things that you've been wanting to do that you haven't been doing and get it done. And really push yourself in that area. Again, if it's reading a book, if it's just sitting outside, if it's going for a walk, seeing that movie, whatever it is, these little changes in time create a different picture for yourself. But this is something you have to teach yourself this. And it's not something you're going to feel. You're not going to feel it right away because all you've been adapting to is feeling everybody else's energy. All you've been adapting to is feeling everybody else's pain, feeling everybody else's responsibility. That's all you've adapted to. So you have to teach yourself to say, boundaries? No, I'm going to teach myself to enjoy myself on something. And so it's funny that with you, I got the magician energy, right? This magician card is all about, actually having psychic power, psychic awareness, psychic ability. But in this case, and the 10 of Wands, as you can see with the pictures, carrying too much. So you actually do have intuition and empathy, but you're burdening yourself too much with your own empathy. That's keeping you stuck. And that's also keeping you bound to other people's decisions, not your own. And so if you're allowing yourself to detach from just that simple ideology and just make those little micro changes for yourself, you will see the differences. You will start seeing the changes. And so apply it again, micro dosage yourself. Teach yourself on the little levels. What do I want today? Be conscious. What do I feel like eating today? Break yourself out of the mundane when it comes to you. And again, little things. Do I really want to be watching this? And if you keep asking yourself and get good at teaching yourself to look about how you feel, about what you're wanting to express and experience, you'll start changing that even more rapidly. And thus, doors open for you. You start doing different things, meeting different people, having different experiences. But you got to start by releasing that guilt. You have a lot of guilt around you. And that's an anchor. Guilt serves nobody, my love. Guilt doesn't serve anybody. Your daughter was good at placing guilt on you too, indirectly. That's the manipulation I was sensing from her. She was good at placing that guilt. And so that's not yours. And that doesn't do anything for anybody, that guilt. You possess, again, you're also carrying guilt from your own mom. Your mom, you've inherited a lot of guilt from mom too. Your mom is very much a carrier of guilt and passing on guilt. So I want you to break that cycle and break that pattern.
Yeah, I want to too. I've got two younger ones here that are pretty damn good, but one's kind of on the verge. I mean,
that's
I see
okay.
so many resemblance to this one. So,
well,
I appreciate you and your time. I think I'm going to hit you up on your website and look out there.
I'm being more private too in certain things because we are live. So I'm not saying things are more private because I'm just kind of keeping it that way because we're on the live. But yes, if you have any questions, you know where to find me.
I appreciate it.
Okay, love?
Yeah.
Have a wonderful rest of your night.
I'll hit you up soon.
Okay. Have a wonderful rest of your night, my love. It's a pleasure. Okay. Good night.
Thanks, Scott. Bye.
Bye. Okay. And guys, I know a lot of you all are in similar situations. And how do I know a lot of you guys in similar situations as the last caller? God, I sound like Cleo. Caller. It's because I get a lot of guys in these sessions dealing with children. And my own mom, I've experienced it with my own mother too. And that really huge burden of, being the person that cannot change the child, the energy of your child, or the directions or choice of your child. And I would say, remember, we're all on our own spiritual journeys here, own spiritual evolutions here. And so we have to allow that to be. And so I hope you guys are able to learn from all that. As well. And Nina, did you get Patricia? Find Patricia? Because Patricia paid for a video reading and I still haven't heard from her. And I sent you a text. Nina, have you found her? Because I'll just have to end and maybe I'll just send her the money back. But Patricia, are you in the room before I close? Here? Anyone there? Okay, I found it. Well, I guess I'll just send her money back. All right. Well, okay. Well, I thank you guys for showing up. And guys, remember, at the end of the day, how you feel is how you're choosing to perceive and filter life. And and this interesting the session I just concluded with was similar to the message, understanding which battles are yours. And so who was that last call that I had here? The name, I'm sorry, because I feel like I want her to Amy Dietz. Okay, Amy, I want you to rewatch the collective message. So replay the collective message, because I started by saying, understand which battles are yours and not yours. When you psychologically, intellectually make the decision to not feel guilty or to be responsible for something that ain't yours, the brain will detach from that, and you'll start seeing things that you need. So, okay, well, that concludes this reading, this segment, this live show. And guys, remember, LOL Leading Out Loud is now on Thursday mornings. Okay, so we got 2 shows back to back. Serious Joy is still tomorrow and Friday. And so we have, what is the 5th? Yeah. Alexander Deffen, did you pay for a card pull? I don't know if if you were not around, then I did it already. Let me see if I have your name. What is the name you paid with? Because right now, all I don't have Alexandra Deffen anywhere. And I'm about to close on down the road here. Yeah, I don't have Alexander Deffen, and every payment I've had, I've read for. One by one. Let me make sure I'm looking here. That Amy, Astro, Felicia was there. That's what I did. And I've done Anna, Grace, Christina, Stephanie, Sydney, and Patricia. So no. Okay. P Bonecutter. That's the only one can send you the link. So, and I'm about to close down session, so I can refund you if you'd like. If you can't log into Venmo, I mean, you paid with Venmo. Welcome, Diddy. We're about to conclude. Welcome. So, Patricia, if I can't give you the link, we'll do it this way, Amy. Do you have a question? And you can put the question in the chat before I close, and I can answer the questions for you if you have questions. Because I sent you the link to log into the video, and it's through Venmo, and I can't put it through the group chat. If you want to put the question, great. Okay. And I will shuffle some cards in closing as we wait. So, Patricia, I've been trying to find you. So if you can't log into Venmo, then if you can, put your questions in the chat and I can give you the questions. If we can't get you, then I'll just send you back the $50 until next time. Okay? So let me know. You TT me, you need Patricia. Yeah, I don't have Patricia's email. That's the problem. Like, Amy, you had your, what do you call it? Your email was attached to your PayPal, so I used your email to send it. I don't have Patricia's email, and I don't want her to put it in the chat either. So I just have her Venmo, and she can't log back into her Venmo to get the link. So that's why I was able to email you, because you did PayPal, so then I found your email. So Patricia can't get her log on. So Patricia, I'm going to wrap up. So if you don't want to put the questions in the chat to me to answer, then I'll refund you the $50, being that we couldn't get you on, because I got to conclude. Unfortunately, I can't wait here. And I'll just pull some cards in closing while I allow time to wait to see what Patricia decides. And let's see here. Okay. Closing message, guys. I know it's a heavy week for a lot of guys, but that's, this is life. The key to life is understanding how to maneuver through the heaviness and how to break through. I want to refrain from using, cheesy terminology. And I love how these cards. First card is the Path. You guys are on a path. You guys have a path. What is it? What is in your path? Right? Set those boundaries on your path. We're just saying this. Okay? Keep those boundaries tight on your path. Keep focused on your path. Right? Keep focused on your duties and journeys. Keep focused. Okay? And acceptance. It's kind of what we were saying before about one of the keys of enlightenment is acceptance. And so accepting where you're at right now, guys, and understanding where is your path taking you, or where do you want to navigate your path moving forward. If there's a lot of crap in your path now, do you want to bring that with you in the future? Do you want to like trek that along, or do you want to stay stuck in your path where this crap is now, or do you want to stay focused to maneuver around it and move forward and accept where things are at right now so you can move forward? Because when we don't accept things, we stay stuck to it, we stay clenched to it. So be in acceptance now, guys. Understand your path forward and understand where your direction really is. Don't let the circumstances now blind you to that path. Don't let that perspective of whatever's happening in your life right now blind your perspective of the momentum of what you've done up to this point now in your life, in the present, and where you want to navigate in the future. And things in your life should be supporting your journey ahead. If they're not, then it's time to even maneuver away from them or let them go and let them stay in the past. And that's what spiritual evolution is all about. Okay? I appreciate every single one of you guys. Patricia, I will be sending your money back. We didn't get to connect with you, but I'll be sending the money back to you. And if you guys have any questions too about booking a one-on-one session with me, of course, they're more in depth, more specific, more clear, especially more than a card pull. You can visit scottcruzpm.com. The link is down in the description below. And I offer also mediumship sessions if you want to connect with someone who's crossed over. And as well as Intuition Builder is a course to also help you tap into your own abilities. You can catch me here every Thursday morning on Leading Out Loud, and every Thursday night here for my live shows. I appreciate every single one of you guys for showing up. Remember, you're all the gods and goddesses of your own myth. What do you want to create? Much love. Good night, guys.
He said it was like a Devin or David.
David is his name. It's been so spot on.
And I don't know if you put it in the side of your end table or not. You said like to summon your end table. This too.
My God, we're crazy.
Yeah, he's saying hi, baby girl. He's saying hi, baby girl. And is there significance with like image of a rose at all?
He would
Does that make
always
sense?
give me a rose.
Okay, so he's like doing one now. He's saying to work with some sort of like vibrational machine, somehow a way to work with like machinery and vibration.
I work with horses, and there's actually some magnawave therapy that's vibrational.
Tell me something that he told you that came true.
Everything he's predicted has come true.
I just don't see it.
So he doesn't have cancer?
It's very possible.
Allow yourself to hear yourself. Allow yourself to feel yourself. Allow yourself to talk to yourself. Allow yourself to respond to yourself. That's looking within.
You might encounter negative aspects of self, but that's a freeing experience.
Because then they start realizing that they can't think outside the box. And I say, if you can't think outside the box, then who's the stupid one here?
There's a reason why we're on this timeline. There's a reason why we've chosen to be in this awakening. I say we're going through a spiritual awakening.
So I don't just come on here and talk bull and repeat. I'm living this stuff.
In harmony